Last weekend, my husband and I put up a little free pantry at the end of our driveway to hopefully help our neighbors. And while we've overall had so much fun restocking this and connecting with all of you, unfortunately today is not going to be a happy update, but I want to be vulnerable and share with you everything about this. Since we bring in our bins every night due to freezing temperatures, I began today by going through all of the new items that somebody had graciously and generously dropped off yesterday to make sure that they were all. We have fun things like taco shells, more pasta, seasoning, Pop-Tarts, and I was really excited because yesterday somebody had left me a note requesting things, and one of the things that they requested more of was Pop-Tarts. And I also got these kid-friendly SpaghettiOs to put in, so I thought we were going to, have a really great day. We put the totes down at the bottom. As you can see here, they were very, very heavy, and my husband was even struggling a little bit to carry it. And I was really excited because the weather was good today. I'm sure with food stamps ending today. Well, Vermont is continuing them for 15 days, but nationally food stamps are ending or due to the shutdown. And so I was so excited to be able to provide this to my neighbors. One of the things I was most excited about to have in these bins actually came from an idea of one of you folks, which was to put in this notebook so that people could put in requests. And yesterday, somebody left a very nice note that I kept private, but it was very touching to me, and it meant a lot. We'll come back to that in a moment, but my husband and I went to the movies this afternoon, and the movie theater happened to be right next to a Dollar Tree, so we finally got to go see what all of you have been talking about. Of course, the first thing that we checked out was can openers, since you all have been begging me to get can openers from here. They were $1.25, and they felt like lower quality than the ones I was able to get at Walmart, but we picked a couple up. You also said to check out their spices. We went over and got their spices, and I got a couple of things to add to our bin. I was then looking for tea and easy to do coffee, and I ended up knocking over a bunch of sugar, but I picked it up, don't worry. One of the things that seemed to be received well is like these treats for kids, so I got some gummies and Dollar Tree version of Gushers to put in, which will hopefully, make some kids happy. They also had these little pouches of cereal, which I thought would be cool to put in. And before all of you come at me saying that I bought trash, I would just like to say that if you saw me putting these in my cart in the suburbs and thought that they were going to my house, you probably wouldn't say anything. So I'm just throwing these in for my neighbors, and if parents don't want them, they don't want them, but I figure it was a sweet treat to put in, and I'm okay with it. Although the soups here do have these pull tops, I feel like just from the size, they're smaller, because I feel like when I put in the other soups, they don't fit in my hand this easily. We also got Chef Boyardee that had these pull tops. Again, they feel smaller than the ones I've been using. Several folks have also recommended like these tuna and cracker lunches stacks, so I got a couple of those. Someone also recommended these hot dogs, so we got a couple of those. Someone had recommended to get beans, so we got a couple of those, although one of the things that someone put in yesterday was chickpeas. We're going to have some variety. I also thought popcorn would be a nice treat for some people, so we got some different kinds of popcorn to put in. One of the things that had been requested in my notebook was like juice pack drinks, so I got just a couple of different ones to put in. Someone also recommended Pop-Tarts, so we got some Pop-Tarts. These are smaller than the ones at the store, and I do want to do a price analysis of if these are actually cheaper per unit. Some folks had recommended Band-Aids, so we got these cool Band-Aids like unicorns and these monster things that hopefully kiddos will like. Christian also wanted to point out that the toothbrushes here are actually more expensive than Walmart. And here we go. I'm so excited to get this and see how much it costs and actually go home and see if it actually is cheap. In total, we spent just over $73. Unfortunately, Dollar Tree didn't have any totes, and I want a smaller tote to put in the dog food and the baby food. So Christian found this great sized one at Walmart. And we also got cinnamon sugar, which they didn't have at the Dollar Tree that was very popular. I was also surprised that when we came home, somebody had left on our door a bunch of can openers. So thank you to whoever did that. When we went to pick up the bins tonight, we could immediately tell that our neighbors had come because you can see through them. Visibly stuff was missing. But then also when we picked them up, they were noticeably lighter. Like my husband here is able to pick the thing up above his, not above his head, but above his chest, which we could barely carry it that morning. I was very excited to bring these bins inside and see what was popular for the day. But more importantly, since we got a note yesterday, I immediately began looking for this notebook. And when I couldn't find it, my husband came over. We tore apart the bin and it was missing. I couldn't believe that somebody took it. And this seems like such a small thing because I was totally prepared for somebody to take all the totes and take all the items. But them taking the notebook, which felt so personal, and feeling like you couldn't have taken that by accident, although I'm going to presume that they did, was so discouraging to me. I'm actually really upset about this, and I know I shouldn't be, but this isn't how I wanted this to go today. That said, I'm going to follow my own advice and let them. I put it down there. I knew that there was a risk of it being taken, and so the fact that it is just part of this journey, and I will fill up the bins tomorrow. I'll put a note on top asking for it back, and we'll continue